Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Hustle Up podcast. We're bringing you another one and done where we take a topic, keep it to 10 or 15 minutes, and start spitting freeze off the dome. Information that we think is hot today for America's motivated millennials. Today, my name is Clint Crow.
Jonathan Hessig.
We are Hustle Up, dedicated to all those people grinding past the traditional 40-hour work week to create a life by design. And today, we're talking about the concept that your network is your net worth. Who you know matters. What you can get done is equally as important. Well, I don't know about equally as important, but who you know really matters. And a good example of this, if you know me and Jonathan personally, you'll know that we met in the fraternity at KSU. Shout out to Delta Tau Delta.
Shout out Delta.
If you don't know us, we met in a fraternity at KSU. And the biggest difference that I see in fraternity life versus non-fraternity life is that school is preparing, college is preparing, and even to an extent, high school and lower school are preparing students to be busy worker bees. And I read a stat recently that said if you join a fraternity, on average, your GPA will drop by half a grade point. So if you had a 3.0, you will drop down to a 2.5. If you had a 4.0, you drop down to a 3.5. But your net worth will increase 4 times. And the people that I was in a fraternity with, the brothers that I knew, all leveraged relationships to get the types of jobs that they wanted. They weren't coasting off a GPA. Some of them had relevant work experience. But there's this good old boys club mentality that the people like to hire people that they know. And if you have the results and you have the grades and the backup to support this idea, like you're not going to hire somebody that's going to slack off. But if you have the results behind you, you can leverage the connections that you made, whether it's in school or down the street or at your local coffee shop. It's this interaction with people, an ability to recruit, an ability to shake hands and make small talk that lands you the things that you want in life.
Yeah. That's spot on right there as far as my experience went.
Mr. Recruiter.
Well, yeah. I was a recruitment chair, but more so like how I was like we've spoken about this before. I'm not an academic. I knew school wasn't going to be my thing, so I realized early on that my net worth was going to end up equaling my net worth. Obviously, I hadn't conceptualized it like that yet, but for anyone listening who's not great in school, putting yourself into social opportunities young, continually
new social opportunities,
pushing not in your comfort zone, because you've got to grow, because there's a lot of things. The communication has so many dynamics to it, and you've got to really start training yourself from an early age to know how to mesh with and adapt to any kind of crowd or experience or situation that you're in. And so the communication element is what really drove me. I guess I had an innate wanting to be a better communicator, and so that just drove me into building a network. And fortunately, in hindsight, you kind of see that parallel of, okay, I'm good at these things, I'm not good at these things, and it was just by the grace of God that it happened to work out where your network equals your net worth.
Well, so you've got the juxtaposition too between forming deeper relationships with your close group of friends, and also continually challenging yourself to go meet new people or be in uncomfortable positions. Our walls go up sky high when we put ourselves in a new position. We want to, or in a place where we don't know people in particular. We want to put up this image of ourselves. We want to flex. We want to show off. And instead, going in, being real, listening to other people, and practicing the art. I've heard it called netweaving before. There may be other terms for it, but Amyn called it remembering smaller conversations for the larger conversation. When you can meet somebody and figure out what their interests are, and maybe you're not the best friend for them, but you can introduce them to somebody who it would be beneficial for them to meet. Or maybe they have a specific business product or goal or dream, and you can link them with somebody that can help them reach that goal or take them to where they want to be, or that might just be a good social friend for them. Remembering those smaller conversations and introducing them into the larger conversation is key. And it goes back to, we preach this, but get comfortable being uncomfortable. If you don't like public speaking, figure out a place that you can go and speak on a topic or practice your public speaking skills. If you don't like looking at the camera, figure out something that gets you in front of the camera. You're overcoming fears. Eventually that will translate into overcoming objections, especially if you're in sales. But that happens in every walk of life, whether you're a technician, the entrepreneur, the manager, a salesperson, whatever it is you do. Overcoming those fears helps you overcome objections. Forming your pitch and pitching in front of investors and failing, being willing to fail and take advice and ask for feedback. Those are what are going to lead you toward the type of growth that you want to see. And if you're thinking about entrepreneurship and you've got a pitch and you don't get the money or you don't get the advice, go back to your investor and go back to the type of people that you identify as your target customer, your target market, and ask them, what kind of value would I need to provide? What type of numbers would I need to see in order for you to give me your money? If it's a customer, like, you got to figure out who has their money in your pocket, and if it's a customer or if it's an investor, what would it take? And if I can accomplish these goals, who keeps open? If we can accomplish these goals, then can we talk about doing business again? Can I get another meeting with you? Would it be possible to make it happen that way?
Yeah. And another thing that kind of just popped into my head while you were talking is that network equals your net worth could be almost used metaphorically as well, to where your net worth could be an analogy for. That microwave's got me messed up.
No, you're good.
That analogy, that the net worth is an analogy for like your mind or spirit too.
Yeah, it is.
And that your network is also like the inputs you're getting in. So it kind of ties back to habits in a way that, in our last week's podcast, in a way that makes sense. Yo, can we redo this one, bro?
No, hey,
me up, bro.
No, it's fine. The sounds mess me up too. We're a big believer in coming to you raw, unedited, unfiltered, and I do believe that the content that we've dropped and the gems that we've dropped are still valuable. So this is us practicing what we preach and putting our money where our mouth is. One of the last topics I want to bring up is the hallway effect or the corridor effect. Kind of similar to the way Scooby-Doo. You remember when they'd be running down the hallway and the bad guy would open one door, then come out another door. Do you remember that visualization? Do you know?
Yeah,
did you ever watch it?
Yeah. And then like they're all running the different ways.
Yeah.
The ghost is chasing them, and then they're chasing the ghost.
Well, if action truly trumps everything in entrepreneurship, and the fundamental root of all competitive advantage is the ability to outlearn your competition, then just getting started, opening a door, and whether that's through a side hustle or a new hobby or a passion project or a new networking group or whatever that thing is that you're going to start doing to get comfortable being uncomfortable, it could always, often, lead to you opening a new door. Maybe this doesn't work out. Maybe it leads to something new. It's okay to fail. It's okay for it not to work out. Because the chances are that door that you opened is going to lead to another door, to actually where you need to be. The difference is deciding that I'm going to take a life by design. The difference, or form a life by design. The difference is deciding I'm going to commit to this networking group or this new skill or this new hobby. I'm going to write down the goals. I'm going to set a specific time frame, and I'm going to see what I can achieve.
Yeah. So this has been a one and done. Your network equals your net worth. At HustleUp, HSTLUP, www.hustleup.com. Appreciate y'all listening. I'm Jonathan.
I'm Clint.
Next time we will bring you one without extra sounds in there. But remember,
We can get rid of the sounds. Hey, the sounds in the background, the camera's not going to pick these up.